Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Margie. I'm a Hilk empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. Don't mind the lights too much. It's more for the lighting for me. I can't hardly stand looking at it myself. Most of the time, it's behind me, and I just get the ambiance from it. I just like to tell stories. I spend a lot of time doing a lot of research, collecting a lot of data, and I put things together and then I share them here. Pick up what you like, if it makes sense to you. If it aligns with your spirit, that's fine, and if it doesn't, that's cool too. Just because I don't say something that might not resonate with you here, I got over 1,000 other videos, so I'm pretty full spectrum. I can connect with a lot of different people from my frame of reference. I've been watching a show called Mr. In Between. The man's after my own heart, Ray. I'm just like him, only in the female aspect, and also I've contained my anger. Yeah. Our backgrounds, we all have it. There's trauma someplace, and if you don't, it's coming. Sorry. And if it's not in this incarnation, it'll be next. You can't avoid it. We're full spectrum. Our spirits are just supposed to experience things, and you can try and put yourself in a little glass house, a little plastic bubble to protect yourself so bad things never happen. But how are you going to learn how to handle yourselves in tough situations? Because life is full of tough situations. I don't know if you noticed this or not yet. Things are getting pretty hard on the outside world. It's because people are reflecting in a large scale. That's everybody on how they feel outside. Sum of all parts. They feel scared inside, so they take it out. And then when they see something, the fear inside is matched with the fear outside, and then poof, it explodes because they run into somebody else that's fearful. Yeah. It's like two magnets that repel each other, but they keep trying to go at each other. We're all just energy or energy fields. So I was watching this show on Mr. In Between, and the episode I watched last night, as could probably tell you spoilers. I give spoilers because I tell stories. I try not to ruin storylines and stuff like that, but I don't know. The episode I watch, I'll just share my experience on what I've seen with people. There are these two men, and they've known each other for a long time from the service, from having to serve together. Now, people don't realize, there are these conflicts that are created because people that lack imagination and don't have better ideas about things get bored, and then like little kids on a playground, they get bored in their inner vibration. They're inclined to destroy. They have this destructive vibration into it, so they'll do what they can. They, instead of picking up trash or something and making the playground better, no, they'll find, oh look, what's this, a magnifying glass? Oh, what's this? There's some ants. Let's burn some ants. It's in them. It can be thwarted. It can be reduced. It can be acknowledged. But sometimes, man, people just got stuff in them. It just causes them to do weird stuff. And so, I was in the Air Force. I went to go to college because that was the easiest way for me, because I didn't think I was very smart in school because I barely graduated with a 1.8. Barely a 2.0. I didn't even have it. I mean, I was just because the stuff that they freaking taught just wasn't in alignment with me. Economics and history were or English were the last two classes that I had after lunch, and I always left at lunch and would go up to the lake and stuff, so I had like 40 freaking tardies and absences in my only two required classes my senior year, so I had to do a Saturday school the last Saturday before we graduated. But I did. I always just barely make it by the skin of my teeth. It's what Hale could do, or this Hale could do. Anyway, but I got a 96 on the ASVAB. So I always knew, people always said you should go in the military, Well, I didn't think I could. I didn't think I could keep my mouth closed because authority figures, man. I just have this belief in me that no one person should be over another person. It's in my spirit. I'm native. It calls to me. It should call to other people too, but I guess they're too their DNA is too shrouded by preservatives and toxins that they consume to make themselves feel better. So I did the war game. I played the game. I gave them 6 years of my life, and you know what turned out to be 1.5 inches of my height, because I've lost 1.5 inches between my T9, 10, and 11 vertebrae from working so hard. Because I'm Aries, I always use my bodies, and age rangers are hard workers, so always had to keep up, yeah. And then surpass too, because I'm Aries, kind of competitive like that. So I learned my lessons. That was my ego. And then later in life I found out, well, I'm Aries in Western, but in Vedic I'm Pisces, so I'm more, you know. So I'm learning to slow down and take care of my body, and I wish other people would, you know. And I'm glad that people are staying in and they're not playing those pro sports, and I can't wait to realize how much money is wasted on that egocentric paradigm, you know, and how much harm it causes. When the ego is allowed to get out of control, men freaking abuse their wives, they drink too much, they freaking think they're gangsters, you know. They carry their swinging wiener freaking authority conquering disposition that they have, get paid millions of dollars on the field, they take it off the field and they don't got an off switch, you know. Which brings me to you know, the complex of military. It's a business. It's always been a business, and if you say it's a business, then you're a bad person, and you're against things. But I'm just stating the obvious, is the way I see it. Corp USA. That's what we get when money matters more than people. It can change any time. I've talked about this in other videos, and now I'm seeing evidence. I'm like, these bureaucrats, these baby bureaucrats that freaking just move the pot around the stove from one and never ever accomplish anything. Projects don't get done. City, you know, they keep fixing the same pipes on the same streets every other year to absorb resources, you know. But the ones the areas that really need attention don't ever get it. It's just it's a slap in the face of some really arrogant, low vibrational beings touting what they can do because they can, and don't you know who they are. And that is all a sign and significance of me of a larger larger spiritual abnormality. Yeah, because people that have spirits don't act that way. They act in their spirit, and they act from a heart space that there's plenty for everybody. Everybody's the same, and everybody should have equal opportunity, you know. And from what I understand, I used to think, you know, I never been into politics because it's just all a reindeer made-up game, and it's all contingent on who's in charge and which way it's laying that day. That's how these guys think. Yeah, it's gross and stuff, but I worked around these dudes for forever and ever, and see, I ain't the girly girl, so they never curbed their behavior around me. They never, you know, considered there was a lady in the room. So I got the real speak in IT, hospitals, doctors, officers, all these male. So it's a, you know, and all it is they're imbalanced. They just shit on the feminine energy in them. They just think that their male is dominant, and they put their little feminine energy in a box, and the divine feminine is like, roar! Let me out! I'm bigger than you! That's what's happening. The whole earth is raising up, roaring. We haven't even heard the loudest roar yet. It's just gonna keep coming and coming and coming. So when I think about, you know, the human spirit and what it can endure, and when it gets hurt, and it gets hurt, just like, you know, the people that like to turn dogs, people just like to turn things. When they hurt, broke people like to break things. So people like to make dogs fight, and roosters fight, and animals fight to the death. And sometimes people just fight, you know, you know, there is no spirit in that. There is so much karma to be weighed with that. Everybody has a turning point. What's your turning point? What's the thing that's going to break you? I haven't reached mine yet, thankfully. I almost did. I thought I did when I moved to Oregon and my life changed. My favorite person on the planet just shut me, you're insignificant. Just one more, you're insignificant. And I just couldn't get a job, got turned down freaking 70 times, different local, city, state agencies around, but with my resume, don't you know who I am, right? All my, don't, and all, and then I got into astrology, and I quickly realized it's just this storyline, people aren't supposed to see me. They're not. I was just hanging out on Marge astrology, I go over there and hang out. I'll hang out on live stuff, and I'm just like, I'm like, they just don't see me. But I'm not supposed to be seen, I just want to make connections, because this stuff makes sense to me, and I put it together from a higher perspective just because I have more life experience is all. So I take what she has and I build from that. Oh yeah, this, oh yeah, well, from where I'm standing, from being in these, macho bro clubs, where it's just all about energy. That's all astrology does, is read energy. I freaking teach people how to read energy in other people, or how to see the signs that they just are void of spirit. That is very low energy. That's what I see when people are like, oh, I'm so tired all the time. I'm so tired all the time. I'm so tired all the time. People in spirit, I'm not tired all the time. I'm fucking fully charged. Charge Marge. Marge is charged all the time. I gotta keep my freaking energy capped. One of the reasons why I keep it so chill in these videos, because if I don't, the technology won't work. Freaking stuff starts glitching, and I start getting freaking the red that I'm not connective, and then it starts sputtering that's how frequency works, is when you vibe so high, you twirl things up like a little tornado, like little paper sacks. When you spinning around, you pick up everything and it twirls up with you. That's what high vibe does, man. It's how we're raising the frequency of the planet. So I never actually got to, in the military, the only loss of life I saw with my own eyes was the remnants of a security forces kid. Just got on duty base, probably one of his first few shifts by himself. He ended up, he freaking was at a cop shop, just out by himself, and freaking pulled his own gun, firearm, and took out his own light. Age is always on the scene first. We bring the light, we bring the power, we bring whatever people need. We're support, I've always been in a supportive role my whole life. It's in me. So we had to bring out the cart and stuff, and you still see the blood dripping onto the ground, Now, I went over to places. I was in Crete for Operation Iraqi Bullcrap, and the Marines came back. There's like 500 of them, because they're the ones that release. See, you train people to kill people. You train people to hurt people. You train people that somebody is difference, that is different shade than you. They're told that they're, generation after generation, because their daddies and their daddies' daddies and their daddies' daddies all did the same thing, and they're just doing what they're told, don't you know? Where I come from, people that do what they're told all the time are just little bitches. Little doormats. People don't respect people that just do what they're told all the time. And I think that people are feeling that, and they're like, because they know they're not doing respectable things, because karma's coming back around. Anyway. Third chakra stuff. Tickle in my throat. So, where was I? I've seen what, they make up these conflicts, and they have your sons and daughters go fight these conflicts for them, because they'll never do it. They'll never do it themselves. They'll just say that they exist, and then they send your sons and daughters, and everybody has a breaking point. So a lot of people, they're like, in this show that I watched last night, the guy was talking about his breaking point. It was a kid that he took his life. he killed the kid in fighting somebody else's ward for somebody else's profits, and that was what broke him. And so everything every day he ever lived, I mean, you get that picture in your face. We're not supposed to kill other people. We're not supposed to hurt other people. We're supposed to create an earth where people can live joyfully and happily and feel safe and secure. But the thing of it is, a lot of people profit from making you scared. A lot of people get really fucking rich from making sure that people are shaking in their boots. They do. But all that gig is up. It's all up. It's all, no, building 7. It's all, the gig is up. Because these unimaginative humans are trying to push these freaking low vibrational beings, are trying to push a dialogue that they were successfully did, because people just want to get along. They just want to be obedient, but the control freaks got really out of hand and really stopped living within their means. And what we're seeing, I wonder how many people in Congress drink alcohol, because what alcohol does, it's very close as a elemental compound as the makeup as ether. And ether is what they used to do for operation to knock people out, It's been used as a tool for deviation and manipulation for years and years, because they want you to do it, but then when you do it, you're a threat, because anybody that drinks alcohol is, well, void of spirit. It literally places the oxygen in your blood, and that is what animates us. That is the only difference between us and a corpse, is our automation, our breath, our spark combined. So when you consume alcohol, it puts alcohol into your bloodstream and replaces breath, oxygen, literally. So you are literally replacing alcohol with your spirit, which allows your ego to come in, and that's when people really get fucking perverted and gross and get the wrong ideas about shit and thinks, well, if this hole feels good, then this hole is gonna feel better. It's fucking disgusting, man. And I know what these people are. Males, females, I know who they are. I know how they feel. Because you see, some of us are given life experiences. We're given life experiences, so we feel the vibrations of what the tormentor feels like, the tyrant feels like, the oppressor feels like, the rapist feels like, the child molester feels like, the void of spirit feels like. See, because some of us are so full of spirit, and we just magnify, we just ching, ching, we read energy everywhere. We're just taught to ignore it. No, that's not true. Like when you're a little kid and you got imaginary friends, you're seeing in frequency. You're seeing in a vibration, because you're closer to freaking source, because you're closer to being birthed. So you're closer to the coming from source, so you got a closer recognition to it, recall of it. It's stronger. It's your parents and society that says what you see isn't real, because they're low vibrational, so they don't see what you see, so they can't. Though they're just going to dismiss your experience, and then slowly your vibration gets sucked out, because they're sucking the life out of you by disbelieving you. And then soon you don't see that your grandpa no more and stuff like that, unless you dream about them. And that's when our spirits go to look at our experience from a higher dimension, from a higher perspective. Dreams are just our spirits in higher dimensions. Those are actually experiences that our spirits are having. And the funny part of it is our spirits are so multidimensional that those dreams are still going on in our wake time. We just tap into that storyline in our sleep or meditate state or whatever. Am I making sense? Because I know what I say is really beyond senior class level. I get it's beyond grad class level spiritually. But what I say makes sense. But the people just aren't of the high of the vibrational frequency to see me yet. And that doesn't bother me too much, because when the student is ready, I'm here, the teacher. And I'm ready to learn some more stuff too. And the biggest life lessons are learned through relationships with other people. And I just assume not have those today. I just assume not have any personal relationships today. My relationships I'm trying to tap to are on a collective conscious level. Because people have failed me miserably my whole entire life. Because I couldn't find the right vibration that fit in a loving way for me. All I could find is the rapist and the antagonist, because that's all I've ever known, you know, and the tyrant. That's all I've ever been drawn. So they're drawn to me because they know that, because they see me as a giving soul. And parasites love the givers. They love it. The narcissists, they love the givers, because we will just give until there's nothing left. And they don't care because they're void of spirit. And people that are void of spirit are pigs. They're fucking hogs. They're gluttons. You can even be in shape. You can still be a pig. It's a vibration. Anybody in the talkie room today? You know what I think of? That's funny, Katrina, that you said that. Hey, Cosmic Hillbilly, it's good to see you 2 times today. I was thinking about when you said that about you making it's a vibrational frequency. You get it, people excited, you know, and it's vibration. Like I got bladder problems. I'll be freaking in a diaper here. I mean, I could probably wear it, but I mean, I don't know. That's too much. Because when I was a little girl, I wouldn't go to public restrooms because they cut my hair and I looked like Nicholas on 8 is Enough. And I looked like a little boy. And I hated going into, because grown-ass women, grandmas, it didn't matter. Moms, it didn't matter. It's the heart space. It's the people that feel bad about themselves that want to make other people feel bad. Even a little girl that's 5 that has a haircut that is not her choice, that looks like a boy, and then you all have to fucking comment like all the time, are you a boy or a girl? Are you a boy or a girl? And I already had gender shit, you know, that I was going through. Because I know I was born my last incarnation as a male, but in this incarnation I'm a female, and there's restrictions and things, and it was not comfortable for me. So I just wouldn't go to the public anytime there was a public restroom. And if there was a pretty woman around, and if she went, forget it. Nope. So I wet my pants all the time. I wet my pants because I wouldn't go, you know. So how many kids wet their pants because of things like that? You know, more kids wet their pants because of things like that than any physical problem, right? Right, but you're not gonna ask, you know. And a kid isn't, you know, what is a kid, 5-year-old? I knew I liked I thought girls were pretty, and I didn't like men as like partners, you know, like, you know, because I didn't have a dad, you know. So I mean, that whole dynamic was just, I didn't buy into that freaking patriarchal bullshit from the get-go. See. So anyway, I what happens is, you know, at 5 that happens, and then you're at 46. Well, I had to go to a urologist at one because I kept getting bladders infections and stuff like that by the time I was 12, 13, and they determined, it was an Indian doctor, and they thought I had to do all kinds of ego deflating things with that whole experience. I had to lay there still, and they had these metal rods because they thought that the passageway from my urethra to my bladder was too small. So their solution was they have metal rods that kind of look like knitting needles that go up in increments, and they would stick those in there time after time to stretch apart the urethra, and I would have to lay there perfectly still because if you moved it hurt more. You know. So, I know a lot about spirit coming out of body because sometimes there's so much pain, whether it's physical or emotional, that your spirit literally cannot tolerate it. It freaking cannot contain, because humans do such ugly shit to each other because those are the people that don't have a spirit. So we're just toys to them. We're just like a mouse to a cat that has been rumored to smell fear. So they love that Chianti fear smell. So they're going to put people in positions to make them fearful. And that's what we're seeing today, is all these people that have put themselves in positions of power generation after generation, that maybe they had spirit to begin with, but at some point they reached their breaking point and sold out, and their spirit checked out and their ego completely checked in. And when ego check in, there's no place for emotions or well, that's when money matters more than people, and everything is personal, because people are real and money isn't. So when anytime you come up to a person that is just like thinking about profits, or like these non-for-profits, they're all a fucking hoax, man. All of these little sponsored ads that I see on my feeds that are helping homeless and care about the hey, loss of life is loss of life. We're all shades of the same color spectrum. How many people are in prison systems right now that are innocent? Everybody's just looking at things are backwards. I'm sorry for your loss. The dude was a thug. He was a thug. And it's like, if my brother is high up and his attitude is, I know a kid that I went to school with, the cop, he was imbalanced, upset, worked up into a heightened state, not thinking clearly, and then that's when the freaking cops, the antagonists, while everybody's pissed right now, they feed on that. And so guy I know, his brother, he's in prison now. He was running away from the cops and got 6 bullets in the back of his legs, and there was no wrongful suit there, and he's in prison. I've done videos about that before. And you know what my brother said? My brother, who's a lawyer, he said he shouldn't have run. That's what he said. He shouldn't have run. And I think it's funny because, well, good thing you didn't run. Good thing you didn't run when you were a kid, and you were figuring stuff out, hanging out with your buddies, and you guys robbed Bean Padre. Good thing you didn't run. Good thing the judge was lenient on you and you didn't run. Yeah. His grand larceny. I think it was sealed. Too bad I remember every detail about that. They even gave me soda to take to school. I was in junior high, so I was an accomplice, but I was just the dumb little sister, so I didn't know what was going on, And then so the hypocrisy, when the more people tout about justice, and that's why I always share my darkness, man. That's why I always share my darkness, my rage, my anger. I always share it because I don't want anyone to ever get the wrong idea that I think I am all love and light. Because I'm 51% love and light, but there's 49 other darker shades down there. And they go all the way to black. But I'm aware of those. I am aware of all those shades. And I do whatever I can to get closer to the light. My daily disciplines, meditating, trying to stay physical, trying to, eat right, trying when I get those cravings, because God, I love to escape. Just one bottle of Jack Daniels would do it. I would be in a plane. I wouldn't care if it was high or low, because nothing hurts there. And those fuckers know that don't feel, and they make a lot of money by poisoning people's spirits and ruining people's lives. Because, well, all you gotta do is tell people to drink responsibly, but there are so many of us that are allergic. It's an allergy. And people take advantage, and I fucking hate motherfuckers that take advantage. I try really hard. I could be a manipulator. I could be so much further in life. All I have to do is turn all my feelings and all my emotions off. What was that? Turn them all off. Find a good place for Mom, and then I'd be out in the world, fitting right in with the mainstream. But I'm trying to flip the mainstream over. because that main vein got greedy and gross. Where's the spirit in that? That's about all I got for now. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.